This is what I do. I drink, I watch horror movies, and I know things. Well, if you caught the very end of my last video in which I reviewed the previous HorrorPack offerings, you saw that this wonderful little package has just arrived. This is the May of 2024 HorrorPack. In case you somehow don't know, HorrorPack is the horror movie subscription service that every month sends us one of these wonderful care packages filled with wonderful horror movies to pass the otherwise dreadfully dull evenings. I do enjoy almost all of the movies they send, and I like on this channel to open these up live to camera, not live, but live to camera, so that I discover what's inside at the same time as y'all do, and that's what we're doing today. In case you're new to this channel, welcome. We do weird things here. I hope you stick around. Be sure to subscribe, ring my bell. If you like my videos, give me the thumbs up. Tell a friend, leave me a comment. Do all those YouTube-y things that help me to grow my audience and keep making these videos for y'all. But we're not really here for me to tell you all those YouTube things. We're here to see what's in this wonderful little package from HorrorPack. So let's get to it. Alright, the first Blu-ray in this May 2024 HorrorPack is none other than Willy's Wonderland. I think a lot of us already know what this is. This is the Nicolas Cage movie that is very much like the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. This predated the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, and the general consensus is, even though it's an off-brand version of that story, this is the superior version of that story. In case you don't know, let me read the description off the back, which says, "A quiet loner finds himself stranded in a remote town when his car breaks down. Unable to pay for the repairs he needs, he agrees to spend the night cleaning Willy's Wonderland, an abandoned family fun center. But this Wonderland has a dark secret that the janitor is about to discover. He soon finds himself trapped inside Willy's and locked in an epic battle with the possessed animatronic mascots that roam the halls. To survive, he must fight his way through each of them." So that's what this is. This is possessed evil, sentient and animated animatronic monsters. And that's the premise of the Five Nights at Freddy's films as well. When the Five Nights at Freddy's film first hit theaters and people were reviewing it, a lot of people were pointing out that you could honestly skip that one and watch this one instead because they said that this one did better. Another person pointed out to me, and I think this is the right way to think about it, that if you are a young person who has played the Five Nights at Freddy's games and is immersed in that world, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie did a great job of speaking to that audience. But if you're an old fart like me, this is the better, more traditional telling of the story if you don't have the sort of inside view of the particulars of Five Nights at Freddy's. So I'm not putting that one down necessarily, but I think a lot of people probably do prefer this one. I did not, believe it or not, have a Blu-ray of it. I've seen it. It's a pretty good movie. I liked it. I'll give a full review after I re-watch it when I can collect my thoughts, and I do my monthly review videos anyway. Speaking of which, obviously I've seen this one, but I've probably not seen the other movies to come out of here, so I can't really review them now, but every month I do a second video in which I actually review these, so stick around, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. Anyway, I'll rewatch this one, I'll give a full review, but it's a pretty good one. I had seen it but had not yet purchased a copy, so I'm quite happy to have this in my collection now. So far, we're off to a good start. But of course we're far from finished. We still got 3 movies to get through. The next one is this film called Stoker Hills. The title sounds vaguely familiar. I don't believe I've seen it. The title sounds familiar. Of course, Bram Stoker was the author of Dracula, so this could have something to do with Dracula, or it could just be named after Stoker. I'm not sure which is the case. Even putting the name aside, something about this title sounds a little bit familiar, but I've not seen the movie, so I don't really know much about it. Let's read the description, which says, "Evil lurks in the shadows." It is true. Evil always lurking in the shadows. Turns out evil's not just lurking in the shadows, it's out in the open too, but it's in the shadows too. Anyway, putting my philosophy to the side, it's been a long day. My mind, sometimes I don't know about myself, my mind wanders. Carrying on with the actual description, it says, "In the secluded town of Stoker Hills," so that's where the name comes from, it's the name of a town. "In the secluded town of Stoker Hills, 3 college students find themselves in their worst nightmare when they set out to film a horror movie and are kidnapped by a serial killer. Their only hope for survival is the camera they left behind and the 2 detectives looking for clues in the footage." Now, that's a plot that sounds a little familiar. There may be some other twists on it, but I think we've seen things along those lines before. I know I've not seen the film, but now that I've read the description, I also know that I have heard of the film. I saw a trailer or read a description or something like that before. I do see one of our favorites on the screenshots on the back. This has got Tony Todd in it. Sometimes he shows up just for a very small role. Sometimes he plays a lead. I'm not sure which is the case here, but if it's got Tony Todd in it, there's no way it could be all bad. The premise itself sounds pretty interesting. I am excited to try Stoker Hills. Next and third from the Blu-ray horror pack. I keep saying the Blu-ray horror pack because there used to be a DVD and a Blu-ray option, and I got both of them, and I did these videos for both versions, and I would always say the DVD pack and the Blu-ray pack. Now it's just the horror pack, but I'm in the habit of saying the Blu-ray pack. So third from the horror pack or the Blu-ray pack or whatever we want to say is this film entitled The Devil's Dolls. And I'll be damned if that doesn't sound familiar too. It's another one I'm pretty sure I haven't seen, but something about it is just ringing some bell in the back of my mind. I probably saw a trailer and then just haven't got around to seeing the film itself yet. Some stuff on the package here. There's a little tagline that says, "They will possess you." There's a quote from a reviewer which says, "Delightfully bloody and often ultra-violent, really delivers the goods." That sounds promising. There's another quote here that says, "Mixes old-school voodoo with the tropes of classic 80s slashers." I'm getting more and more excited. Let's read the actual description and see what this film is about. The description says, "A serial killer's curse unleashes a season of slaughter in the backwoods of Mississippi. According to an ancient Guatemalan tradition, parents teach their children to soothe their fears by giving them handmade worry dolls just before bedtime." This is, I think, a common tradition that takes different cultural flavors. In the United States, we have teddy bears. In this Guatemalan tradition, they have the worry dolls. I think it's kind of the same idea, maybe. Anyway, carrying on. "But when several of these talismans, which once belonged to a notorious mass murderer, find their way into the hands of unsuspecting residents of a small southern town, it sets off a grisly wave of bloodshed. The latest from Rites of Spring director Patrick Reynolds is a voodoo slasher shocker bursting with scarily inventive kills." So I kind of like this idea where it sounds like it is basically fundamentally a slasher movie with all of the inventive kills that subgenre promises. But it also seems like we have the supernatural layered over the top of it. We have some voodoo and these worry dolls and all of these things layered just over the top of what would otherwise perhaps be a run-of-the-mill slasher movie. And hopefully those extra elements add just sort of a distinctive flavor that makes this hopefully something that has everything we love of a good slasher movie, but without being just another run-of-the-mill, same unoriginal kind of slasher movie. So I'm intrigued, and I have high hopes for this Devil's Dolls. And finally, as you know, if you've got the HorrorPack or been watching my videos, there's always a HorrorPack exclusive Blu-ray, which is either not released on Blu-ray before, or maybe not released anywhere before, or something of the sort, maybe an autographed edition from time to time. And this one is a film entitled Sequel: Cruel Summer 2. This is the HorrorPack exclusive number 95, according to the spine, proving that they've been at it for a while. I subscribed, I think my first one was 51, so I've been getting these for a while too, you can tell. Anyway, Cruel Summer was the HorrorPack exclusive last month, and it was a pretty good, fun, not great, but a lot of fun, low-budget slasher movie. Well, there's a sequel, and now we've got the sequel. So if you watched that one, I think you probably have a pretty good idea of what you're in for with this one. But I will read the description anyway, because that's what we do, and it seems like the right thing to do. Description here says, "The mayhem and blood flows in the next chapter of the retro throwback that is the Cruel Summer Saga. Heeding the advice of medical professionals, the traumatized survivors of a deadly vacation house massacre try to confront their own personal demons by organizing a stage production of their harrowing experience. But a familiar face is back for revenge and determined to make sure these unsuspecting actors' stories fade to black before their time." And that sounds like a pretty good premise for a sequel to a slasher movie. Survivors are gathered, so we've got some continuity in terms of the characters. The survivors are gathered, they're going to put on a play, and of course it's a sequel to a slasher movie, so it goes the way that slasher movies go. I did like its predecessor. I liked Cruel Summer, so I suspect we're in for more of the same. If you liked that one, you'll probably like this one. I did like that one. I'm expecting and hoping to like this one. I think we're in pretty good shape with this Cruel Summer 2, which appropriately enough is in fact called Sequel. So there we go. 4 brand new movies. As always, the HorrorPack people seem to have done well. One of them, Willy's Wonderland, I have seen. 3 of them I have not seen. None of them did I have in my collection already, so I don't have any duplicates. That's always nice to find. I think I'm a winner this month, and all y'all that subscribe to HorrorPack, you're winners too. If you don't subscribe to HorrorPack, maybe you're still a winner. You can buy most of these movies. The exclusives, you may struggle to find sometimes. Sometimes they're available, sometimes they're not. Depends on what is exclusive about it, but usually the others you can find, so we can all be winners. Don't forget there's purchase links down in the what's it. But that brings us to the end. Parting is such sweet sorrow. I really have nothing else to add about these films, except that, well, I'm looking forward to watching them. I'm gonna go do that. You're gonna subscribe, ring the bell, give me the thumbs up, and until next time, take care and stay scared.